We are live. We probably have a few seconds delay. I'm waiting for this to pop up on my Facebook so I can share. We've got Kenzo with us tonight, Boston Graffiti artist. He's been doing this for a long, long time. And what's the world of graffiti been like for you?
What's it been like for me? Lately, I mean, it's different, I guess, in a lot of ways than like when I first got into it. Nowadays it's like I kind of feel like everybody and the mother is like doing it or has done it. Where when I first started out, it was kind of more of a low key thing. Only a few people in major urban areas were actually doing it. Now I think it's become such a big global thing, and spray paint and accessories are so available, especially with the digital age and the internet. Kids can get access to all types of stuff these days, and so it's gone through some changes. It's definitely different in good ways and bad, but yeah, it's it is what it is. Everything evolves.
Absolutely, man. And so you don't think it's dying? It's a dying breed? You think it's just evolving?
I mean, in a way, like I just, I think it has its ups and downs. Like, it, because I've been doing this for a while to see it where, like say you just take Boston, for an example. There were certain points where like graffiti died for like a couple years, where it just kind of nobody was really doing it. The streets weren't really hit as much. But then after a while, like a new generation kind of came up, and like there was like a good little explosion, probably like I'd say like back maybe 2013 and 14, and it kind of revived from a little break. So I feel like we're gonna see those little like ups and downs every now and then. I think right now it's like I don't know. I guess it depends where you're from, but it's kind of it's going strong, but not as big and booming as I think it used to be.
Yeah, it's definitely taken a downturn as far as from the uh, from the '80s when it was at its the four elements of
Yeah,
hip hop. So
yeah,
as hip hop was hip hop a influence on you?
yeah. I'd say definitely, because that's how I kind of learned about it. Like graffiti was just that element of hip hop that I think I was mostly into. I mean, I've always I've always liked rap music, um, you know, things like just the whole hip hop scene was just something I was attracted to. But graffiti was just that art form that really attracted me. And when you go and learn about it, and you learn its history and roots in hip hop, like the New York City subway cars, where I think that was probably one of the biggest things that absolutely blew my mind was um, some people would remember and if you're not from New York City and you didn't live through that, um, there's the book Subway Art, where I remember I think I was maybe 13 years old the first time I looked through that, and there were just whole subway cars top to bottom of just massive pieces. And I just to me that blew my mind. Like I couldn't believe that there were people that were going out and not just painting a little 10 by 10 piece on a train. I mean like the whole subway car end to end, top to bottom, was completely done. And there's just pages and pages of this, and it's just that just blew my mind right there. And so that kind of started that intrigue into it. And and I was seeing what was going on in the Boston area and some of the local writers. And, you know, and like I said, it has its, it has its element when you look at like letter form, and you kind of see certain letters like angling going this way, that way, and up and down. You could kind of, I'm not into like breaking or anything, but when you think of like breakdancing, all that funk just going boom, boom, up this way, that way, moving, kind of
Yeah,
twisting
it's
things
all
around like that. It's like, it's funk. It's like it's that funky live shit. That's what it is. That's hip hop to me. So, you know.
yeah, hip hop. The four elements. What is it? It is lyrical,
So,
graffiti, breakdancing, and DJing, of course, right?
yeah, yeah.
And
That's it.
production should be obviously the fifth element. How do you feel about today's new generation of hip hop music?
I don't consider it hip hop. It's just I mean it's I don't really listen to it much, like, tell you the truth. So it's hard to form an opinion. The little bit that I have listened to, I I'm just not getting it. I mean, I just feel it's kind of like, yeah, maybe it has some roots in hip hop, but to me it's not hip hop. It kind of like it took a left turn off from that. I don't really
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's a
really.
new generation. So I don't know.
I
It's
know
hard to.
you don't want to call judgment, but it's definitely feel like it's lost its ways. I mean, the beats are banging for sure. You
Yeah,
know,
I think some of the beats are good, but the lyrical content, I'm like, ugh,
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like it should be the producers who get the recognition, instead of
Yeah,
the lyricists, because I mean, I agree. I think the production's dope on a lot of the new school stuff, but uh, yeah, it's just the lyricism. There really is no lyricism, and it's sad because
yeah.
I don't
It's
want
like
to say hip
you know,
hop, but
I don't know. I'm hearing some like it's just like the same, like the mumble rap, the just same repetitive thing over and over again, like the Gucci this and Gucci blah blah blah, blah, blah. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like you're giving like a microphone to like a 3-year-old and they're just kind of mumbling, and it doesn't really. I don't
yeah,
know. It does nothing for me.
there's very few artists who stand out these days and are actually you know
Mm.
making lyrical a lyrical difference, making an impact. That checks some.
Yeah.
So are you I know a lot of your work was done post, you know, your older years. You did a lot of bombing back in your younger days. Um, you're not so much into the legal aspect of it, but graffiti was, I mean, it really started blowing up in the 80s, but I think it was in the 60s, you know, where it first started. And graffiti is essentially just writing on a wall is what graffiti is. But to your style, that kind of really was started, from the hip hop culture in the 80s. And
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
probably even beforehand. I think it was actually in the mid 70s, I believe.
Yeah, I would say even like the late '70s. I would say it was like the early '80s where it really started to develop to where people were doing like full size, multicolored pieces. During the '70s, I think it was
Your
more
style,
just, yeah, yeah,
or
exactly.
like with
Before that, it was just kind of like writing your
Eminem.
name with one or two colors at most. And then the '80s is when it really blew up to huge style pieces.
Absolutely, man. And we should definitely check out some of your art.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Let's check it out. Let's share um share my screen here. And we're gonna go to your Instagram
All right.
and let's see what you've done, man, over the years.
Yeah.
We've got Uh,
Okay, there we go. That was recent, actually. That was just a few
and
weeks
how
ago.
those? Oh no, shit.
Yeah.
Now, what blows my mind is when I'm driving down the highway
Yeah.
and I see on an overpass,
Hmm.
some bombing, and it's like, how the fuck did they do that? How did they
Yeah.
get there? Like, how was that done?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit.
Is that just like literally like hang? Would somebody just be literally like hanging off the edge of?
Yeah, some people do some crazy shit. I've never done anything like that, but some people will tie like ropes or have some sort of harness or something to like hang off the bridge or whatever it is, just to get that little highway spot. Um, I've never done it, but there are some people that do it, and to me it's kind of crazy because you're risking your life, and I mean I don't know, is it really worth it to just write your name? I mean, hey, I don't know. That's to each their own, I guess. But
Yeah, people
I
people want to get their name out there, and I mean that's what the art form's all about, though. You know.
yeah, it is. So I mean, definitely props to people that that can do pull that off, because I mean that you get a lot more balls than me. So I definitely tip my hat to them.
And this is a good old fashioned street bombing right here, or a good old train cart.
Yeah, there you go, on a freight train. I used to do a lot of that back in the day. Um, that was one of my favorites. Like we were talking about earlier about like say like the subway cars, um, where that you can't really do these days. You can't really paint the subways, at least in America. They have it, locked down. Just you can't really paint them. That you'll get caught way too easily. But the freight train system, which doesn't hold passengers, it's just to transport like goods like coal and grain and whatever else. Um, those you can definitely hit. And nowadays, like you could go in any like freight train yard, and you're bound to see all types of graffiti from people from all over the country. I mean, some of my trains I know have, been caught, like, I've painted them and say in Boston, and then 2 weeks later they've caught them out in like, Minnesota or New Mexico or this or that. So it's like, yeah, so that's another aspect of it that I always liked. You paint it, and then a day or two later it takes off, and who knows where it ends up and who sees it. So
That's
thought it was
really
cool.
cool. Starts out in Boston and ends up in Mexico, right? Like,
Yeah,
what else
yeah.
is this hitting? And you do like a lot of free walls. Is that something that's available these days? Like, I know, like the Gloucester Quarries, for instance. Is that a free spot to bomb, or is that a?
I would say no. Just because it's like it's there's a reservoir there, and like I mean it depends. Sometimes the cops will come down, and it depends on how they're feeling that day. If they want to arrest you, I'm sure they can.
It's a
Um,
shame because that's kind of become like its whole shtick is like the whole art. I mean, that's why I think people go there is to enjoy the art.
yeah, yeah. There's
But no, go for it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, there's definitely a few legal spots around. That like this right here, this spot, it's kind of tucked away somewhere, and I wouldn't say it's legal, but it's not really illegal either. If we've been painting this spot for years, meaning me and all the other graffiti artists, local people, and it's so far tucked away that like most of the public will never see it. So it's like there's no danger in that. Nobody's gonna come and call the cops on you for doing something like that. And even if the
It's
police do
ridiculous. They
see it,
do.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're just making it more beautiful. Who wants to see a
Yeah,
boring fucking white wall? You know, I mean, you're
yeah,
adding
yeah,
beauty to it, and it's a shame that they consider that vandalism, or you know, you're making it
yeah.
beautiful.
There's
You're
some people that don't like it. I mean, I get it if you don't want it on the side of your, your business or whatever. I mean, I can understand that. Um, but at the same time, if it's in the middle of nowhere, where like a lot of these places are, they're just tucked away, under tunnels where most people will never even, go to. It's like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so
I get I kind of get like I'll drive past a business and I'll see some asshole who just writes some like we'll just write their name and some sloppy. I mean, you
yeah,
obviously have color selection, style. You put your time and heart into your work, so it's
yeah,
like I hate when I see like just some asshole who just ruins somebody's business, or when I see
mhm.
their like name written on the side of the wall or something. It's like, oh, you just fuck this poor bastard's gonna pay $5 for this dude to remove your shitty ass friggin' quick
Yeah,
little tag, and you know
yeah.
but
Yeah, not to say that I've never done that. I mean, I've had my, younger years where it's like, even just throwing up a little simple tag here and there. But, like I said, like, it's one thing when you're, 18, 19, even in your 20s. But like when you start, like, reaching in your 30s and 40s, I mean, you're getting a little old, I feel like, to just, tagging on somebody's property like that. And, you know, at least that's the way I feel about it. Um,
we got
so
Jason asked us if you're familiar with Boston artist Rid.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I know Red. We're uh, we're in the same like graffiti crew. I've painted with him multiple times.
Oh, no
He's
shit.
yeah, member of
Rid.
MBD. Yeah, I know Red.
I didn't know that. Wow, he's actually a close friend of mine from my friend Jason, and that's
Oh, okay, cool.
funny. Or an old
Yeah.
friend, I should say. I don't know if
All
we're
right.
necessarily close friends these days.
Mm,
So
yeah.
this is just kind of a collective of a bunch of different pieces you've done.
Well, actually, that's a whole train car, and that's actually one,
Oh,
two, three.
that's a lot of
There's
different artists.
there's 4 or 5 people on that train, so it's like, that first piece you see up in the upper left,
Right,
it's like black and blue. That's me. If you could read it, it says Kenzo.
that's obviously a
So
Ken. And there's like
then there's
AR-15.
AR-15. Then Eeks. He's been a long time friend of mine. And then also Volume underneath him, where me and Volume were, we were pretty much graffiti partners for quite a while. Um, he showed me a lot. He was like one of those kids that was, during high school, he was like really good artistically. Like at 15 years old, he was able to, fully piece and, you know, really do it correctly at a young age. Where
Just
like,
like the best, yeah.
nowadays I see people who are like in their 20s and still can't pull off like what he was doing at, age 15.
And who's this here underneath? That's
So
we
that's
got
Eeks. That's
Eeks.
EAKS. He's a good friend of mine. We also went to high school together.
Is is he
And
part of
we've been painting over the
MD?
years.
What was that crew you were saying of that you and Reds are actually a part of the same
MBD.
MBD?
So
What's MBD stand
yeah,
for?
originally mental breakdown. A few other things too. Making bitches dominate. My big dick. All sorts of things. Mass bombing division. My bad desires. Mourning a brother's death. But I would say originally it was mental breakdown, which was just kind of like it was formed years ago, where you're just going through that rebellious, teenage years, and you're just, dealing with everything from, from school to your parents to authority, and just, all the pressures you have as like, as a young kid, and you just feel like having a mental breakdown. I think that's where it kind of came from, and
Better
so
put some paint on the wall than have a mental breakdown for sure.
yeah. hmm Oh yeah. So yeah, a lot of these like yeah, that's so that right there, that's a freight train. It's called an auto rack.
Mhm.
So what they do is, they transport like mostly either like cars or cattle and those types of things. And those are just big chunks of metal, and they go from, one side of the country to the next. And I spent a lot of time painting those, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Is just when you go into a freight yard, I mean, it's like you're it's like you could be in a city and you enter into a freight yard, or you could be just out in the middle of the country in the sticks somewhere. And but no matter where, it's usually always just you get this peacefulness about it. It's always so quiet, like life is going on elsewhere. And but when you're in a freight yard, it's like everything's quiet, everything's like, kind of peacefully calm, and you're just there. A lot of times I would do it at night. That way you have, that little bit of cover so no one would see you. You'd go there and you'd paint, and yeah, just paint the night away. Just, do it with a few other people and just have a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, we got people asking about the raffle or the auction. That was something I was going to incorporate in the beginning, but since I'm still growing and I'm starting out small, I
Mhm.
don't want to. I didn't want to do the raffle. I wanted, hold that off
Yeah,
until. Uh, so yeah, sorry if anybody was looking forward to owning some of. I just didn't want to. You know, the last my this is my second show.
Mhm.
So my first show, it's
Yeah.
shows
No, I
watching
hear you, dude.
is
I
I
hear you.
didn't want to I didn't want anybody feeling bad if like only 10 people happen to want something, and I didn't want you losing out, or so yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start holding off on the charity auctions raffle until you know the following
Yeah.
grows a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so just answering questions.
Yeah.
We've got a couple people watching. And all right, let's check you out, man. Let's go over some more of this beautiful work you do. So, what's your favorite color scheme? What, what's your like? We'll break it down to sports. Like,
Mhm.
you know, as far as like your favorite like three color combo. What's your favorite like three colors to work with?
I would say like black, blue, and maybe either like a little red or purple.
Yeah,
Those are always like, my go-to colors. I feel like black is always a good color to have because it's, any color goes with black.
yeah,
Um,
of course.
you
That's
know,
the base.
because it's just that's, that there are some people that just, um, they're trying to work with colors, trying to make it, kind of all come together. But the certain things like I'm not that depth of an artist to where it's like, oh well, primary colors and secondary colors and this and that. It's like I just know how to put things together. Like you wouldn't mix like say like a pine green with like a cherry red. They're too dark together that you won't get that contrast.
Gotcha.
So, so like with black, it's usually like no matter what you use with black, you're always going to have that contrast. So I always say, whatever, just use black. You can't ever go wrong with it.
Can't go wrong with black. Like I
Yeah.
feel like certain colors just like our souls radiate certain colors.
Mm,
And
yeah.
me, I've always been like attracted to these like purple and blues. For instance,
Yeah.
you know, like right here, I've got my my my
There we go.
back in the '80s, my pet monster. But like, I've just always
Oh,
loved this dude,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the Charlotte Hornet colors when I was growing up. Um,
yep.
you know, was always, I don't know. I just feel like I have a purple soul. You know, like my
Mm,
aura is purple, so it just there's like just a certain color scheme that radiates from my energy personally. So I don't know if you
yeah.
have that like particular feeling where like you're just drawn to certain color schemes or certain colors or
Yeah,
certain.
like that last one we saw, like I like the way like the blue, like kind of like that almost turquoise color, like goes with the purple. It just to me, it I don't know, it feels like warm to me, kind of like almost tropical. I want to say, it just
Yeah,
feels like almost like a I don't know, like a tropical beach to me. At least at least it does to me.
yeah, those are the colors of my soul for sure. Like I just, it's
Yeah,
just like I love it.
yeah.
And this is like a train.
Yeah, that's like a simple one. I was never really too into that one. I just kind of had some
Nothing.
scrap cans and just messing around with something. But some people like it. I'm not
Yeah,
that big.
suppose like from back in the day, they would ride like train to train, get out from every stop, hit it until they realized they could actually hit the train yards at night. Was like, you know,
Yeah,
safer,
yeah, yeah.
way
Hmm.
less, way more discreet.
Yeah, definitely. Mm.
And this looks like a dedication piece.
Yeah, that was actually Joey Eyes. So he wrote Eyes. His real name was Joey. He had died recently, actually, during the whole initial COVID crisis. Um,
Um,
Yeah, so that was kind of a big loss for us. He was just a really, I don't know, really good kid, really friendly, had, just a big heart in it all. And, he grew up on the North Shore of Boston, just like me. And he just, he was one of those kids that just, he knew his history. He knew the history of graffiti. He knew the history of Boston graffiti, North Shore graffiti. And he just, really took that to heart. And, with like a lot of like newer kids these days that they don't really go back and really check their history and see where this all comes from. So, I would say like that is kind of like a dying thing where I don't really see too much of the newer generations really caring about, what came before them. Um,
that's a shame.
Joey, he was really big into that type of stuff.
Well, R.I.P. Joey. Rest in paradise, man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear you lost a brother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is
Totally.
a collective of some Kenzos. That's for sure.
Yeah, those are all different, different trains I've done. Just, my name just splotched, you could kind of see I use different colors and stuff. It's not always the same.
Yeah, you
Um,
definitely
you know,
are.
some reds, greens.
There's definitely a art to just color selection alone. Like
Yeah, yeah,
what work
definitely.
with what.
Yeah.
But you haven't done the trains in a long time. You stayed at the safe places in
Well,
your
I don't know. I still sneak one in every once in a while, but you know, like I said, it's like it's got to be extra safe for me. It's like I'm not trying to risk anything, And for the most part, like you can even talk to some of the people that work on the railways, and you ask them, like, it's like do you really care about people coming here and painting the trains? And for the most part, all the time they just say no. It's just a big hunk of metal just to ship stuff across from state to state. Most people are kind of cool with it, and it's they're like, yeah, just as long as we're not you're not running around on the tracks while we're operating, trying to pull trains back and forth. The main thing they don't want is they don't want to run somebody over and have like a casualty. It's people painting trains. It's like that's the last thing on their mind. They really couldn't care about that.
It should be. I mean,
Yeah,
you're making the world a better, more beautiful, brighter place.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, it's fun. It's fun to see people like, when I go into a train yard, it's not just to paint for myself. To me, it's like I feel like I'm walking in like, an art gallery. You see artists that like, from like say Los Angeles, and you see them, one of their trains up in say, New Hampshire or Maine. And you see people from like, Florida, from Canada, where trains just pull up in your local yard. And it's like, a lot of times people have different unique styles depending on where they come from. And when you see something like that, when you see like a West Coast train pull up in one of your, Northeast yards, it's like, it's like, wow, it's quite a treat.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I clicked on this obviously because those are my
Mm.
favorite colors again. So
Yeah, I
hits
really
me.
like this piece.
I'm a big I love I don't know. I'm an '80s baby, so I love those hot
Yeah,
pinks. And those very shining bright colors.
yeah. Like, actually, it was that train that I remember one of my friends, he was like visiting family out in Vermont or something like that. He ended up seeing that car out there. And he sent me a text saying like, "Hey, I saw that train you painted. It was somewhere, I don't even know where, somewhere in Vermont." I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool."
Oh, you did out in Vermont.
I didn't no, I
He
didn't paint
he
it in Vermont.
he saw it in Vermont.
He saw it in Vermont. So I painted it in Massachusetts. He ended up seeing it in Vermont. So I was like, "Wow, that's cool."
That's fucking dope, man. That's got to be a great feeling when somebody a couple states away say, "Hey, dude, I just saw your shit, man."
Yeah. It's cool because like it really takes on a life of its own, I feel like.
Make Krylon great again. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
you know uh, a, a paint company that
Yeah.
is
So
there anything.
Krylon used to be the best paint to use, at least at the time, say like, 80s, early 90s. It was, they had great cans, great paint with certain caps you could use. Nowadays, you can't even use Krylon anymore. It's
Oh, shit.
just it's really just the valve, like the cap system they have. You can't intertwine it with like, the caps that, you know, somebody that works with spray paint would use, and it doesn't work well. You can't use it to paint.
Is there a lot of cap switching going on?
Oh
Like
yeah, it definitely is. You know, there's all types of caps nowadays. For the most part, you have like fat and skinny. Basically, what that means for people that don't know is like, when you're spraying, say just a line, you can make it. If you have a certain cap, you can make it extra thin to make it nice, precise. Or you could get a fat cap, which will have like a big, thick, fat line if you're trying to, make things a little more thicker. Um, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of, changing caps and stuff. But sometimes I don't even bother with that. I'll go and just whatever with just the regular stock caps, and knock something out with that. I think that's a true test of skill. Like if you can't do that, then I don't know. I feel like I don't know. You should I don't know. Just like check yourself because there are a lot of people that are coming into this where it's like they're just spending thousands of dollars of like just the best caps, the best paint, the highest quality of this, and it's like there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's like if you can't just pick up just a regular spray paint can and just produce something like at least halfway decent, it's almost like you're just missing that whole point of it. I feel like. Well,
my friend Jason, he just wanted to come in and you know he asked if he could co-host. He has a true crime podcast. Actually inspired me to start interviewing artists. So I just sent him the link to join the our, our our chat, and I'm sure Jay's
yeah,
got a lot of questions. So yeah, Jay, check your. I sent you it via Facebook Messenger. I sent you a link to the group, so feel free to join. And all right, I'm going back to share screen because I want to look at some more of your artwork.
yeah, sure.
This is colorful. There's a lot of color in here.
Yeah, that one, if you notice, it's, each letter is painted a little differently. Um, that took me a little bit longer, than normal because each letter is a little different. But I've been kind of wanting to, try that a little more and develop that a little more, where it's like, rather than, because for the most part, it's always like the whole, your whole name is all the same colors. This one, it's like each one is, it's like almost like its own element, and it kind of comes together
Yeah, it comes
in
together.
like, yeah. So I kind of want to try that a little more. Um,
Yeah, this is very unique.
yeah. Thank you.
Very, very cool. Every letter, or every letter has its own element to it, which is very,
Yeah.
very bright and amazing. Let's see if my buddy Jay's joined here, which is not yet. Do I got my screen share on, which is cool. Let
Yeah.
me stop that screen. Move. Sorry. And this looks like a little bit more. You've stuck to a few colors, but you've also you've also
Are you
being
still on screen share? Because I can't see it
I
anymore.
took my screen share off. Sorry about that. I should be able to check that out now
Yeah, there we go.
with the pimple.
That, yeah, yeah. So that was like part of a whole collaboration with like a few other artists. We did a whole wall. That was actually at a buddy of mine. He has a whole like home garage slash gym. He had us paint it, and that was a fun night. Yeah.
I'm sure you've had a lot of wild fun nights. Have you almost what's your wildest story as far as like interactions or with the police or almost getting in trouble or what's
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of my, I wouldn't say it's too wild, but kind of crazy. One time it was this was in Lynn, Massachusetts, and it was me and my partner Volume at the time, and this was during the day, but we were like kind of trying to hit the alongside the train tracks. And you had to go in through like a hole in the fence in the back way. Like it was, we definitely, you're not supposed to be there. So this is going along like the commuter rail into Boston, and so we're walking along, and this is probably like 11 in the morning on like a bright summer day, and all of a sudden we see like a guy on the ground, like face down, not moving like at all, and there were like kind of like
this
flies on him, and
oof.
so we were like, oh, we didn't want to get too close because it just, we just weren't sure like what this guy's deal was. We didn't know if he was, is he alive, is he dead, and like we don't want to, cause a whole scene up here. Looking back on it now, I kind of, but we were really young. We didn't know what to do. I feel bad for not helping him, but so what we decided to do, it's like let's get this little. There was like a plastic bottle on the ground. Let's like kind of throw it at him, see if he moves. So
Let's check if he's alive.
yeah, check if he's alive. So
Let's
that's
check in.
when we hit him, over the like through the bottle, it hit his head. That's when it kind of like lifted up, like, oh, okay, well, at least he's alive. Like at least we know that. And but whatever happened with him, I don't know. He must have had a wild night because you can tell he was just, I don't know. It looked like he probably like shit his pants and everything because there were like flies just like all over him. Just he was just a mess, and
Well,
I don't know,
he
but
didn't he wasn't dead, Fortunately, we hope, right?
Yeah. No, he wasn't dead. So, you know,
Thank,
um,
thank God. Well, that's a blessing.
yeah,
A
yeah,
blessing
yeah.
in its own.
hmm
So,
But, I have my share of like, getting chased out of places. I've been arrested before for this. You know, Nothing too crazy, but I can just remember being in a train yard one time, and again, it was me and Volume, and we're painting a train. We're like probably like midway done. All of a sudden, we hear some footsteps, kind of walking. Like, damn it! And then we just kind of hear this voice. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, like, I
kind
forget. We were
of,
like, I don't know, nothing. He's like, because he was on the opposite side of the train, and it's like you really kind of have to either go underneath or climb over the train to get to the
right.
other side. He's like, come over on this side, and we just like,
Yeah.
dude, we didn't want to find out who the hell he was. We just boom took off.
Did you leave all your
You know,
paints and stuff?
no,
Things?
no, I grabbed everything. We had it in the backpack, grabbed everything, at least from what I can remember. And I remember we did this like, I don't know, this like jumping off of this, roof onto the street. I almost hit, I think, a lady trying to run away, almost knocked her over. You know, this
So
is like, but this is going back like, I'm talking about like, I don't know, 19, 20 years old, and, crazy times of, drinking or whatever, pills we took that night. So it's kind of
the good old days when you could just
yeah, good old days.
drink and pop pills and feel fine the next day and not take 48 hours to recover.
Yeah, yeah. God. Nowadays, if I, have a few drinks the next day, it's like, ugh, I need a
It's not
full
even worth
24 hours to recover.
Oh yeah, dude, it's not even worth it. I stay away from it.
Yeah.
This is a nice bright piece right here.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a little bit of blue and orange. You know, kind of, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, nice and bright.
Are you into photography as well?
I never got into it, but I kind of wish I was, because I can definitely appreciate nice, nice pictures and people who like, take photographs like that.
Are there any other type of art forms that you embrace?
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of dabbled into, all types of things, I guess. Like, I've definitely done, different things, not just letters, not just, painting my name. I've done different like canvases and certain paintings like um I mean just any, normal things. Like I've painted like things like birds and trees, for usually I
Birds?
do that for like gifts and stuff. Yeah. Like I don't know if it's still on there. It might be on my Instagram somewhere, but I did it as like, a gift one time. I painted some hummingbirds. I've done like even
Just
like a kid's
catch a bird
bedroom.
out of the air. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I've definitely, not just spray paint. I've used like, paint brushes and stuff. Like something like that right there that you're on. Like
This is
that's a
a
canvas. I just kind of,
upcoming
painted it.
looking for
You
some.
know, I wish I had another shot of it, but that's like actually hang it up in my bedroom. It's just just some colors splashed together.
That's not what's behind you right now, right? I noticed you got a little piece behind you there.
Oh yeah, that's like yeah, that's like a little character face I did. You could probably here, I'll show it to you.
What's up,
Get a better
boys?
shot.
Jason, what's going on, man? How are you
What's
doing?
up? What's up? Nothing. Great interview, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, welcome to the group.
Thanks,
Oh
man.
yeah, I noticed this actually on your
Nice.
earlier. We'll come across that sooner than later.
Kenzo, nice
Yeah.
work, man.
Yeah,
This is
thank you.
my
So
good
you
friend.
know Tommy, huh? That's my cousin, Rid.
Oh really? Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Tommy, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
we don't use real names here.
Oh, sorry, brother.
Apologize to
Oh,
me.
my
Please
bad.
ask your cousin.
I'm new. He lives at 1555. He's wanted right now. No, good stuff, man. I'm not super familiar with it, but I always was kind of into it just because of my cousin. He would try to like teach me when I was younger. Like he'd be like, write out different letters this way. But I'm creative myself, and more like in a writing perspective. So I never had like that visual talent of I would write screenplays and stuff, and I always be looking for someone to try to storyboard it for me. Anything above stick figures is above my level, But so great stuff, man. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah.
An artist with his words, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my thing. I've never done it like this. Sorry, Aunt Don, I mean to take over, man. Keep going.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and joining. And I know you have a love for the arts, so you're always welcome to join. And
I've never seen it. I do my own show too, so I've never seen it from this.
You do a true crime show.
Yeah, I do a true crime stuff. Totally different. So I put the link in my group, trying to get as many people as possible, but you couldn't really have two more different audiences than this. And mine is more like kind of older women that are into like true crime. They have that motherly instinct versus this is a little different, So I try to get some people. My buddy Chris is here. What's up, Chris? Just put your clothes on and come on. Yeah, sorry that you guys didn't end up raffling. I definitely would have tried to cop a piece for sure. Good stuff.
No, it's all good. I just didn't want to,
No, you're new, man. It's gonna take some time, like I told you,
Yeah, it takes time. So once I build a bigger platform, I'll help ask the artists to do that. But
you're gonna learn as you go. It's a lot to it.
Yeah.
But,
you can always do it at another time,
I mean, you're welcome to throw something up for sure if you.
What you can do is maybe like do something like get a piece from each artist, like Kenzo or whoever, and then maybe like once you hit 100 subscribers, do a raffle. Once you hit 500, do a raffle, something like that.
Once I get more subs, we'll do that. Oh no, this is some dope lettering right here. I noticed you actually did a couple photos of this. You did the black and white.
I did one in black and white, and then that's in color.
That's
that's in a black book.
Nice.
Yeah. So that I don't do that much these days. I just kind of, I don't know, just staying home drawing and stuff. It gets kind of boring to me. I kind of do like nowadays. It's usually just when I get an idea, I sketch it out real quick in pen and just kind of know what I want it to look like, and then I take that to like the wall, and that's where I really feel like like where I'm most at home, I guess, is just really just doing the whole life-size wall, and rather than spending a bunch of time doing it on like at home, like on a piece of paper.
What motivated you to start doing this? And do you stick just to Boston, or are you kind of all over the country?
Well,
I mean,
it ends up all over the country, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm mostly, for the most part, like, as far as like Massachusetts goes, I mean, I think, a lot of like the writers from here do either know me personally or have heard of me. But outside of that, not so much. I don't think I really got that like whole nationwide fame. I don't think I've, I guess painted that much to really be noticed. But no, there's definitely some people. I know people from, different cities, different areas, all the way from, LA. I know certain people in Chicago. And,
I used to live out in LA. I see a lot of it out there. Some good stuff too.
There's a big art.
Yeah. LA had a, big scene. Definitely a lot, going out there.
Hey, Mike Muse is here. What's up, Mike? I think that's Mike Muse. What's up, brother?
One word out in Miami.
What's that?
Windward Walls out in Miami.
Oh yeah.
It was a word. Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to Art Basel a few years ago. John Mucci.
Kenzo is a beast, John Mucci says.
She knows Kenzo's a beast.
What's up, Mike? Chris, I get somebody.
So tell us about hip hop and how that's, it got you inspired and.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, it's. I mean, at the same time, like, so yeah, graffiti is an element of hip hop where the way I was, the way I learned, it's like we said, you get, rapping, DJing, breakdancing, and then graffiti. But like, I feel like graffiti was always kind of like, it could be off on its own. I feel like you don't always need, to be hip hop, like to do graffiti. I know people who are more like into the, like, say, hardcore and punk scene, but they were just nasty graffiti artists,
Yeah. Black Flag.
I think it does have its roots in hip hop, but at the same time, again, it's like, I feel like it's expanded, grown so much that it's like it could kind of stand on its own, really, like as its own entity.
It was here before hip hop, man. A lot of people's assumption was it came from the hip hop scene, but it was actually definitely here before. Well, before.
Like you have, like, when you really look into the history, that there were people like in the 40s and 50s that were like you even had like hobos writing like their names on freight trains and box cars, just kind of, writing messages like to other people. You had people out in LA that, were doing their own kind of like style of writing, before the whole hip hop scene really hit Los Angeles. Even like, you could take it all the way back to cave paintings. Cavemen were, painting, like animals and like, hunters with spears and stuff. They're just, painting on walls.
It's innate in us, just to reproduce what we see.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a general artist as well, or do you stick just to graffiti, or do you do all kinds of stuff?
I think I have been. I think what's somewhat unique about me is I didn't start out as like an artist. I really like, I was never like that person, that kid that could always draw. I think, when I really first, found out about graffiti, that's when, I really got into that. And once that developed, then I started like, kind of doing more, art involved projects. And that's when I became more of an artist, rather than like, I know like a lot of people were like, they were artists at first and then they came to graffiti. Me, I came to graffiti and then became an artist. For the most part, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I consider myself an artist. Sometimes I don't. I just, for me, it's, I've done a lot of things. I've done big murals. I've done, different paintings and canvases, but for the most part, it's like I said, it's graffiti. That's what I love to do the most. I like just going out there, painting for my own sake, not for anybody else's, and just, just getting loose and, doing a mural like this one in here. This was with, that's my friend cool. Eats. That was done. That's in Cambridge. That's a legal wall in Cambridge.
I was going to ask that. Have cities really opened up to? Cause I noticed sometimes they'll let artists do stuff more so than in the past. We had to kind of do it at night and run so nobody saw you. It seems like they're getting more open to it.
Yeah,
as long as it's a quality piece.
This has got to be the in Cambridge.
Central Square. That's Graffiti Alley. Right there.
Graffiti Alley, yeah.
Yeah.
What's my
dog
getting on there? Can anybody just go up? Because that's like an insult in the world to like just bomb over somebody's piece, right? But there's only like a limited space in Graffiti Alley and in Cambridge.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like originally the rules were like, if somebody does a piece, if you can't burn it, meaning if you can't do bigger and better, then you shouldn't be going over it. That was like, like in the 80s, the 90s, even like in the 2000s, that was like a major rule to follow. If you didn't follow that rule, you got checked on it really quick. Nowadays, it's like nobody really gives a shit. And it's just like, there's so many writers, there's so many artists, and it's like paint it, and like it could be gone like within a day, within a couple days. And it's like
a legal spot now?
Huh?
Does Malden have a legal spot over there behind like where the 7-Eleven used to be and like Legendary Billiards? I know there's a big wall back there. I'm not sure if that's legal or not.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to that area. I live more in Central Mass right now, but I don't know if Malden has a legal wall.
I think they might have
I don't know.
I'll
Might have to
check.
ask Rids on that one.
Yeah, it's turf.
You said you're from that same crew. I know Ant's big on the name. So that little neighborhood that kind of he represents begins with a B. Are you part of that whole group?
NBA.
Yeah, so MBD, that's you know,
MBD.
that was one of my, you know, original crews. That was like me, Volume, Rids, even so actually the people that started it, like I think you had John Mucci commented earlier. It was actually him,
Oh,
Volume, John Mucci's brother. They're the ones that started it, and it was kind of more of a like a graffiti rap type of group, and
okay.
you know, I think it was me and Volume that really, you know, stuck with the whole, you know, graffiti side to it, and we never dropped it. We kept that name, and you know, it definitely got a lot of attention over the years, and you
I
know,
appreciate you guys my
we've
whole life.
let, you know, a bunch of other people into the crew and stuff. Some people have come, some people have gone, and you know,
Is
Right.
is MBD still a coalition? Are you guys still?
I mean, yeah, it's still, you know, I think it's still there. I think it'll always be there. I mean, you know, we don't take it too seriously. Like I said, like, you know, you know, we kind of got all our own lives right now. We're all adults. We all gotta, you know, make a living, pay the bills, do whatever. So it's like, you know, we're not like young and free where we could just kind of
Yeah,
go
spend.
out and, you know, not give a shit anymore and just, you know. So it's, but no, it's definitely still a thing. It's, you know, I still write it whenever I paint. Like usually, like, you know, on any of my pieces, you could always see like a little MBD somewhere written like over to the side. But you know,
Yeah, that's I grew up there. Assuming the B is what I think it is, because I don't know what the MBD stands for, but I know BPD, but wait, BP, yeah,
It's got multiple.
BP, right? I grew up there. I used to always go with Tom or Rids. You know, my aunt lived there, obviously, so I'd hang out there, and so I probably was around all you guys when I was younger. I'm 4 years younger than him, so I don't know if you're the same age as him. So I probably was around all you guys.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, I guess roughly the same age. I mean, you know, I
Well,
think, you know, a lot of those guys kind of, you know, came up around, you know, during like mid '90s era,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you know, this right here, that's not my piece, but that's Answer. He's another guy. He passed away I think a couple of years ago. Really good artist.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
no worries.
Are these?
You know.
Well, I don't want to ask.
This
I was going to ask about how they
you
pass.
have behind you right here.
Yeah, that's that. That's that's this right here. There you go.
Do you do commissions if people can contact you if they want to get your artwork done?
Yeah, you know, I do like this is on like a piece of wooden board and just, you know, hang it up. That's all spray paint.
It's gorgeous, man. Obviously, this calls my name, my faves.
Yeah, I know you said
Yeah.
that you gravitate towards the graffiti, but I can see there's tons of artistic merit in what you do, man. That you could do a lot of kind of art. I would really take advantage of that. That's my one skill. I think we all have one thing we wish we could really do a lot better than we can, and for me, it's art, man. I would love to be able to draw. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, lettering. You know, I can art, but my lettering is a totally different.
Yeah,
art
for
form.
sure. But that's what I mean is he has great lettering, but the skulls and all kinds of stuff, man. He's versatile for sure.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I've
stuff.
done a lot, like you know, definitely, you know, a mix of things. I mean, for the most part, when you see my Instagram, it's mostly lettering, it's mostly graffiti. I don't really post too much of my other stuff. But you know, I have in the past, but I don't know. I think if we keep scrolling, you'll probably, you know, I'll try and point out something that, you know, that I've done that's a
Kenzo,
little different. Yeah,
what's this place
that's my
here?
friend's house right there. That's his garage.
I've seen this spot, and he's obviously pretty cool with people coming in and just bombing his garage up.
Yeah, yeah.
Getting down, getting down. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought that
that's
was,
an
I thought
action
that
shot.
was something.
I think I'm having a tech issue with something.
No, you sound good. You look good. Where'd you do this piece?
That's in that garage right there.
Oh no,
That yeah.
is that's right back in your boy's garage?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
does he have is that pretty much just like MBD who controls that garage?
Actually, I was there with actually a few kids from a separate crew. Um, I'll give a shout out to them. LMA stands for Lynn Massapale. All those dudes were from Lynn. Where me being I'm originally from Saugus, but which is like on the lines of Lynn. So a lot of those dudes like I know most of them, and I've painted with them a bunch of times over the years. So we're usually all cool with each other.
Yeah, you got to support each other. It's
Hmm.
you're all out there doing the same thing, fighting for the same thing. It's
Yeah, I mean, early on, it was all like,
yeah, it was
a
rivalry.
lot of, even now, like a lot of people are just very, confrontational and just, not too friendly towards one another. Where it's like, to me, that's always been kind of stupid because it's like, I feel like we're such a minority that
Yeah,
it's like, we could just, put our differences, aside and just, kind of,
yeah.
if we all group together, we can make some, some pretty big things happen.
Jay left. Jay left. I don't know what happened to him.
Disappeared. Yeah.
He said adios.
Oh, you know what? Go back a little bit. Did you see that, like that shark? Like,
The
you
shark.
see that shark right there? Yeah, like that's a painting I did for a friend. That was just like a kind of an experimental thing, but it's just like it's a shark and it has like $100 bill in its mouth, like a
That's
I don't know
pretty.
money shark.
Yeah, money hungry shark.
Yeah.
We can all, art is interpretation, but that's pretty easy to interpret, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That needs no explanation. I've noticed, yeah, towards the bottom, when we get towards the bottom, you have more like graphics stuff opposed to just word based.
Yeah. Yeah.
A whip, or no,
This
this is finished.
Those are like what do you call it? Like beanbag
Oh,
toss.
yeah, cornhole.
Those, yeah, those are those boards I painted.
I'm a cornhole natural.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
played it like 3 times, but I'm a beast. I'm the natural
Yeah,
gift of the cornhole. And there's the shark again. Oh no, this is a different shark.
yeah, yeah. It's a little different, but it's kind of like on the same idea, I guess.
Same style.
That one's with spray paint. The other one I did with brush. This one, spray paint. I kind of like the way this one came out better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, spray paint is your preferred medium, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'll use brush, but I'm really not that big into it.
What about paint marker?
I like spray paint. Yeah, paint marker. Yeah, I'll use at times. I kind of like it. Um, brushes. I just always felt it was a pain in the ass. You always had to like clean them and wash them if you want to use a different color, and it just
Yes.
I don't know.
Here's a little MBD representation right here.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I actually painted that one with Rid.
Oh, that's dope. No shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If Jay didn't disappear, I'm sure he'd love to comment on that.
Yeah, yeah.
We got Electro and Batman right here.
Yeah, so those were like doors that I painted for like a kid's room. Actually, that's for like an electrical room. That was like a comic book store that somebody wanted, and I did that as like a a commission job. And then there's like that other one. Yeah, that's a Batman door. That was kid Parker. He was a fan of Batman. I painted a door for him.
And you're still open for commission, right? If anybody wants to get in touch with you or some
Yeah,
artwork.
yeah, I'm always open to that.
Everybody likes money, so
Yeah,
we'll turn down some cash if they can. This is pretty.
Yeah, that was a canvas I did for somebody.
That's interesting colors.
Yeah, I really like the way that one came out.
Yeah, I dig it. And Stealth Construction, they obviously commissioned you to do some work.
Yeah, I painted their truck. I designed the letters to that and stuff. So,
have you ever gotten to stenciling?
yeah, I've done a little bit of stenciling. Nothing too heavy, just kind of more, trying it out a little bit, but nothing too big with that.
Beantown Cruisers, I imagine that's some commission work. Is that like a motorcycle club or a car club or something?
Yeah, it was like they were starting to do like a kind of like a car club type thing. I don't know if it ever really took off, but it was yeah, it was just a friend of mine who him and a few other people were into cars and stuff, and he had me paint that on his wall.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you do some great work. Is that not? That's not a KENZO, but this is a KENZO.
Yeah, on the right, that's
Right,
KENZO. I just kind of like the way that picture looked. If you look like the two trains, like one's red, the other's yellow. I just like the colors. That person on the left, I don't even know who that was, but I took that photo, and when I got home, I was kind of looking at it like, I kind of like the way it came out.
Yeah, they complement each other very, very nicely.
Yeah.
What about this piece here?
Oh, so that piece I did in St. Louis.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, back then, I've driven cross country, and I always wanted to stop in St. Louis because I heard they had like a really big wall out there. That wall is huge. It goes on for, I don't even know how long. It goes on for miles, and it's all open, legal to paint, and it's just goes along like the river, and it's a really nice spot if you like graffiti and street art.
Did you get up any more in St. Louis, or was that the only piece you got to put up?
Yeah, that was the only piece I did. I was only there for like a day or two, and I just kind of did that. I was just like traveling, like driving by. I just decided to stop there, paint, and then kind of took off and
we need more
went on my journey.
It's just we need more support for the art form. I think that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, there's still a lot of people that just, I don't know, they just don't care for it, or they just, they see it and they don't know enough about it to where some people think it's gang related, or, represents some sort of like violence, or,
Yeah, it's ignorance. Ignorance of the art form. And this is at a pizza spot. This one we might not want to talk about, right?
well, yeah, that's on. That's actually a pizza box that I painted that on. So.
That's actual pizza box. I thought that was like the setup.
That's a pizza box. So yeah. Yeah. So and I just liked it as a background. Like really, I feel like I could paint on anything. I like I mean, I could paint on a canvas. I find that kind of boring sometimes. I like finding anything, any little like, piece of metal or piece of wood, to paint on. I enjoy that more because I don't know. I find it just a little more fun to do it on, different surfaces.
Experimenting is always more fun than your traditional, this is what I do every day type of thing.
Yeah.
That's a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's on a piece of paper. Just kind of a sketch I did. Added a little color to it.
a little quick with the MBD rep, representation. And you were talking about like your creative process when you feel something, you like to sketch it out. Like, how does that come about to you? Do you feel more creative at certain times, or because like I know for me, I don't get creative till like 1 or 2 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like just I've written my name so much that it's just like I feel like I could do it at any time. I think sometimes it's more like if I'm bored or if I'm just like if I just, if I've been at work too long or thinking about something too much, it's just that's when I kind of go off my own and just doodle and I just kind of practice, my letters and and it's really just hold on one second. Yeah. I just think it's just, at any time, really, I can flex with letters.
You definitely flex hard with the
I feel like
letter.
I have to be in the mood. Oh, there's that. So yeah, that was like a Patriots mural I did. That's like right after they won the Super Bowl.
Which time? I mean,
I know. I don't even remember. I don't even know. I can't even remember which Super Bowl it was.
yeah.
So many. Yeah.
Champion. If you look behind me, actually, oh, somewhere on this piece behind me, it says, City of Champions. I got this piece behind me at Secret Walls. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Secret Walls.
I've heard of it.
It's a black and white art competition, and they basically give 1 hour, and sometimes it's one artist versus one artist. I've been a couple of times. They've done it in Boston. I've went out in Miami and Art Basel. And Art Basel was like 10 artists versus 10 artists. And they basically give you an hour, artist versus artist, black and white only. And, you get what comes. And when I was in Secret Walls, when they did it in Boston, if you check out Secret Walls, they get a whole, thing going. I was lucky to win that. They auctioned off the piece at the end. It was Lamore Supreme and Greg Mishka. And a couple of my favorite artists, so I had to go check them out.
Yeah, nice. That's cool.
But
if you look at to see that bird, that picture right there, this one, so like that's like completely different than what I normally do. But that's like some hummingbirds that it's kind of like
sure. Definitely different from your regular style, but absolutely beautiful and pretty.
That's not me right there, but that's some like old school Boston graffiti right there. So that's that main piece right there. It says came, which was he was like he was a pretty much legend on the North Shore. But right above him, there's like these like alert is just he's just a legendary Boston writer. I mean, he's like he's one of like the top guys as far as like Boston graffiti history goes.
A Boston king, right? As they would
call him. Just absolute king. I mean, he had some of the nicest styles that that people even to this day are just amazed by.
A king is obviously, for people unfamiliar, somebody who's just adored and admired amongst other artists. Somebody like essentially you respect their shit. You see their shit, not to fuck with their shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a little wall I did, kinda. If you can see it, it says KENZO twice. It might be a little hard to read because it's all like blended it together, but there's like a KENZO on top and then a blue KENZO on the bottom.
I see it, because I see the other upper E up here, how it breaks down in there. But I mean, reading graph is an art form all on its own.
Yeah. I think a lot of people see it and they're like, well, I can't make this out whatsoever. I mean, understandable.
But I mean, that's what it's all like. I think, like to quote from Style Wars, which is a documentary on graffiti. It's like you don't do it for anybody else. It's for you. It's for the people who. It's for
Yeah,
us, people who can actually read it, and it's not
yeah,
for everybody.
exactly. Where it's like that goes for the same just art in general. When anybody does like a painting, like you could go to like a dozen museums, and there'd be a painting there, and there'd be a bunch of people that just like, I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't see anything about it. But it's like it's sometimes it's only for a select group of people to really that are really into it, that really understand it, and so whatever, it is what you make of it, I guess.
Yeah, like I'm representing. I get my Keith Haring shirt on, who is just
Yeah.
like such a
Okay.
simple
Yeah.
artist. Like his artwork was so
Hmm.
simple, but so world renowned,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what he stood for.
So like it looked simple, but it's like it was done just so well. Like you could tell, like he just done it so naturally, but so professionally at the same
And
time that
yeah, you can't replicate. What do you think about Bosque?
Yeah. Well, I mean that they have their, like he had his own, little thing going on, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like either you get it or you don't. There's really no in between. And I think if you're into that type of stuff, you really understand, like, wow, this is some crazy, wild shit. Something that you don't come across every day.
And here's a KENZO collective right here,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
always representing MBD,
Yeah.
mental breakdown.
Hmm.
You have any pieces anybody can go check out right now if they wanted to around Boston?
Um, Probably not. Like I said, like stuff just it doesn't last that long.
Yeah, because you like to stick with the legal spots. These
Yeah, I like to stick with the legal spots, and the things that I did do that were illegal back in the day. They've probably been painted over, or the places are just completely gone now. You might still find a couple stragglers here or there, but nothing I could really think of or that I know of. And then you have other people, you have other artists that just they end up going over you. Um, like really, somebody said, like, one time, it's like 90% of the stuff you ever paint is not gonna last. And I think that's so true. Like most of the stuff we're looking at now, I would say most of it is probably gone.
yeah, it's a shame that people just don't keep it up. I know, like
Yeah.
Banksy has his own. I can't remember the name of his, but he has an official appraiser who appraises stuff, and as soon as like you take it off of out of the public, like some
Hmm.
dude took a sign down that Banksy had painted, and they refused to appraise it or give it any recognition because it was taken. It was like he meant it for
Hmm.
the streets. That's who it was for. It was It was
Yeah.
and he left. So they
Yeah.
like
Like it had its place, and it's like if you
yeah.
remove it from that.
He's interesting. Obviously, he's like the king these days of stencil art.
Yeah.
He's got a big following. More mainstream.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because I remember him from like years ago when he was just an everyday, just your regular, street artist guy. That he didn't really he had some good stuff, but he wasn't all that big. And then
Yeah,
after a while, like he started like just really getting the attention of a lot of people, celebrities, just and he just exploded. He's one of the most famous. I'd call him a street artist more than a
absolutely.
graffiti artist, but
Yeah,
one of the biggest names out there.
yeah. There's definitely graffiti's obviously words. Street art is more structured. You know,
Yeah, yeah, a little more kind of like more pop arty, I'd say.
yeah, like an actual visual or a graphic opposed to just, you know, bombing and getting your name out there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some green and white, a little bit of yellows on here.
Yeah, it's like a little simple, more simple styled lettering. Sometimes I like just busting one of those out real quick, just to kind of, blow
Now,
off some steam, I guess.
how long does something like would this take?
That, I mean, honestly, I could probably bust that out in like, 30, 35 minutes.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah.
that is impressive. This looks like some paperwork. We got some skull action.
Yeah, black book work.
Yeah, you should have busted up the black book. That would have been cool.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even think of that.
Where are these spots located? Cave paintings.
So the one on top, that was painting in Framingham, Massachusetts. That's gone. And the one on the bottom, that was the one in St. Louis. I'm pretty sure that's probably not there anymore. But, a little more involved, wild style type pieces.
Very. Is this the same shark or is that?
Yeah, that's the same one. Sometimes I post things like, over just as like I don't know, just to
Reminder.
refresh people's memories.
I dig this piece. I'll put this up. Remind you. We all do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like this piece.
Yeah, thank you.
M.O. KENZO.
Yeah.
So who are your, as far as hip hop goes, who are like who's your number one? Who are you listening to when you're bombing?
I mean, I would say a whole mix of things. Like, I mean, I would say everything from like Tribe Called Quest to Wu-Tang to like the Beastie Boys to even more like, local hip hop artists I was always into.
Boston's a good hip hop scene. It's super underestimated, or at least it was at one point. But it's
yeah, because I think you had a lot of good, talented people. But I just felt like Boston didn't always get like the love that like say like New York City got, or some other places.
Not even close.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's just how it's been.
Where did it all originate? Was it like Philly, right? Wasn't it originally like Philly and then New York kind of hopped on pretty quick, or Pennsylvania, or
yeah, I would say like Philadelphia, had some like some roots in that. I just feel like that whole kind of area, like New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey,
East Coast.
Yeah, that East Coast.
We got some paperwork. It looks like a little black book, which is you would say.
A little black and white. I think that's probably like the true test. I like painting with all these colors, but like, like how you're talking about the black and white paintings, like if that's a true test to like an artist. If you can't produce something with just your black and white,
yeah, absolutely.
Then, like you should be able to do that and still have it look nasty.
Well, job well done, because you definitely got your point across there.
Yeah, thank you.
Simple black and white.
Yeah.
KENZO. K to the E to the N to the Z to the O.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about this piece here.
That was done out in Los Angeles, actually.
It's you getting up all over the U.S.
Yeah, I've definitely, I've traveled a little bit, and I've painted in different places. So yeah, that's that might still be there for all I know. To tell you the truth. But yeah, that was LA.
Rids, or were you just representing Rids right there?
Yeah, no, I threw Rids up. I was showing him some love.
There's some love out in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have Rids on.
Hmm.
I didn't even know you guys were both. And this looks like a little toy train you did.
That's actually, yeah, that's actually just a picture of a train. I forget where I got that from, but yeah, and I
No,
just kind of like painted some simple letters on it.
I got like, hold on. I got a couple of these little like from Grominator,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
wholesale. Yeah,
Yeah, you get the old like because people are big into their train toys, you know. So I
yeah.
acquired these little pieces from Grominator, who's a Canadian artist. He doesn't
He does
really
those like crazy faces, right, with like the teeth and stuff.
exactly, yeah, not so much the words, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. He's had some
There's-
crazy. I've seen some crazy trains from him.
Yeah, he doesn't really do much graph. It's yeah, it's more like monstery face.
Yeah, like monster looking faces, like crazy eyes and teeth. Yeah. Comes out dope though, I have to admit.
I also get a dope on hand Duster, who's in legendary New York from
Yeah,
one Wild Style. I got a Duster can. I was like lucky
dope.
enough to acquire.
Mm.
Just flexing my collection.
Yeah.
This looks like LA,
Yeah, that was out there in Venice Beach.
definitely Venice Beach.
Yeah.
Venice is a cool place to go and cool art.
Yeah.
Are they legal out there on Venice Beach?
That's legal. Yeah, you could legally paint out there.
If you haven't been out to
Yeah.
LA, Venice Beach, you should check out the art scene.
Yeah,
Anyway,
definitely a cool little art scene, creative vibe out there. You'll find all types of stuff out there in Venice.
everywhere, on every corner, and every part of LA. It's everywhere. LA is a fun
Yeah.
place into art.
Yep. Funky place. Yeah,
And you
this
got
is an old train from wow, way back in the day.
Kenzo and who's this down here?
So that was two friends of mine, Fuse and Topple. We're like Fuse, I don't even know if he writes anymore, and then Topple kind of he's gone through a couple different names. Oh, damn.
And you've always stuck with Kenzo, huh? What's up with the name change? Why would somebody want to? Because you figured like I'm established as this. Let's keep it going. Did I get disconnected? Are we still there? Kenzo. Something happened. I don't know what happened to my guy. I think his phone fell over. Kenzo. Red still gets up. He does. I don't know what happened with Kenzo, guys. Where he went, or Kenzo's gone. So I guess that means we're done with. Well, we'll check out the rest of his art before we end it. Maybe if he wants to enter back in, he can. I don't know what happened. Abruptly, artists. But we'll scroll down the rest of his Instagram, and he's at KenzoGasm. And if you want to check out his artwork, definitely check him out on IG at KenzoGasm. You can message him there for commissions and artwork. We're kind of coming up on our hour, anyways. Always seems to go by quick. Time flies when you're having fun. Kenzo's. So I'm gonna give you a quick scroll through his Insta before I end things out. For y'all who are interested, you can check him out at KenzoGasm on Instagram. I am your friend, your host, your boy Tony. Everybody in the world, have a great night. Kenzo, thanks for joining. And sorry you ended abruptly. I'm not sure what happened. Some technical difficulties. Hopefully nothing serious happened. But feed it to the ooze. Grotto, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. John Mucci, good friend. Chris, thank you for the love and support. Thank you for subscribing. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. And everybody out there,